Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Yoma. We are up to Perik Het Mishnah Daled. Today's Mishnah should be Leilun Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Aranbai and Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov Menuchatam Began Eden. Amen. Minors are exempt by biblical law from the obligations and prohibitions of the Torah. Boys are considered minors until they turn 13 and girls until they turn 12. At that point, they become obligated to fulfill all mitzvot as adults. Although minors are not biblically obligated, the rabbis require that they be trained to perform any mitzvot they can properly perform, so that they will be accustomed to performing mitzvot when they become adults. Our Mishnah discusses how this concept applies to the mitzvah of fasting on Yom Kippur. The Mishnah begins at Tinokot en me'aninotan b'Yom Kippurim. We do not afflict children on Yom Kippur, meaning we are not obligated to withhold food from them for the entire Yom Kippur. Aval mechanechin otam, but we do train them to fast by delaying their first meal of the day. The Rav explains we withhold food from a stronger child until 2 hours after the usual time of his first meal of the day. If the child is weaker, we withhold food for only 1 hour after that time. Lifnei shana v'lifnei shnatayim. The Mishnah says this training begins either a year before they reach adulthood or 2 years before, depending on the strength of the child. For a stronger boy, we begin delaying his meal on Yom Kippur when he is 11, 2 years before he reaches adulthood. If he is weaker, we begin 1 year before when he is 12. Similarly, we begin delaying the meal of a stronger girl when she is 10, which is 2 years before she reaches adulthood, and of a weaker girl when she is 11, 1 year before. Now, at these ages, they are also prohibited the entire day from the other forms of affliction mentioned in Mishnah 1. The Mishnah concludes, Bishvil shiyur gilin b'mitzvot. Although they do not fast the entire day, we train them in this way so that they will be accustomed to performing mitzvot when they become adults. And that is the end of Mishnah Daled. We continue now with Mishnah Hey. One is allowed and even obligated to violate any Torah prohibition in order to save a life. There are 3 exceptions to this rule. One may not violate the prohibitions of idolatry, immoral relations, and murder under any circumstances, even to save a life, as the Gemara explains on page 82a in Masechet Yoma. Therefore, it is a mitzvah to feed a person in Yom Kippur if he would be in danger of his life if he does not eat. The following 2 Mishnayot, we're only going to do Mishnah Hey, discuss various applications of this law. Ubara shericha, if a pregnant woman spelled a particular food and has a strong desire for it, she or her unborn baby might be in danger if she does not eat it. Therefore, we feed her small amounts of that food until she feels relieved. We give her small amounts of the food in the hope that her desire will be satisfied by the small amount. It is better for her to eat an amount less than the volume of a large date, which is the amount for which one is liable, like we learned in Mishnah 2. If she is not satisfied with this amount, we continue to feed her until she is relieved of her desire. The Mishnah now turns to discuss the case of an ill person. Chole, in the case of an ill person whose life might be in danger if he does not eat on Yom Kippur, ma'achilin oto al pi bikin, we feed him on the advice of experts, meaning if the patient himself feels that he does not need to eat, but an expert doctor says that he does, we feed him on Yom Kippur. V'im en sham bikin, but if the patient feels that he needs to eat and the experts disagree with him, we consider it as if there are no experts there. Ma'achilin oto al pi atzmon, we feed him based on his own opinion of his need. Ad shomar dai, until he says, I have had enough. In some cases, a patient is a better judge of his own condition than expert doctors, and in some cases, doctors can better estimate the patient's condition. When dealing with the possible risk to life, we always take the action that would ensure that the life will be saved. Therefore, in the Mishnah's first case, where the patient feels that he does not need to eat, we follow the opinion of the doctor who says that he does. In the second case, where the patient does feel that he needs to eat, we feed him even if the doctor says that he does not. That is the explanation of the Rav and the Mishnah. That is the end, Rabotai, of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.